Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about a sculpture. Most of you who are at home, if you're building something at home, I suggest not making it massively big. So some of the ones I'm going to show you are a little bit smaller, a little easy, about the size that could fit into your hand. So I've got some images pulled up. These are little pictures that other people have made out of either clay or something that's similar to clay, like a Sculpey product. And I wanted to show you a couple of things you want to watch out for. So you can see this deer is really, really neat. These antlers might not survive a trip from your house to the school. And they might be a little easier to break off than, like, I don't know, so legs that are touching. See how the legs are? The legs that are touching the body have a little bit more substance to them. They have a little bit more durability. So just think about, as you're creating your piece, somebody got really smart here with this elephant, and they made this almost like a ball type shape so that you only have two legs that could break off. And then that trunk connects into that front arm, so that helps that trunk be supported. So anything you have come off of your sculpture, just be aware that there's a chance that that could break off. So the more you can limit that, the better. Um, for instance, this dog's legs and the tail, that's scary to me. Probably what they did with this one is they probably pulled a mold of it or something like that, or if it was in an area where they were just very, very careful. This little chameleon would be a cool one. So you can look at some of the stuff like that. You could also look at, like, just a real object and sculpt that. It could be a shoe. I don't care. It doesn't have to be like a living thing. What I did is, for instance, I typed in how to sculpt an owl on YouTube just to see what you guys would get if you did that. If you do that, it gives you a whole bunch of different ways you can sculpt owls, and some of them are easy. And if you typed in the word easy, I bet it would help you. But I could change that to flower and just see what. See, now I've got lots of different ways I could do flowers, or something like, I'm just going to try this steampunk. I don't know what I'll get. Oh, so I got a steampunk owl, which is kind of cool. There's also like different, here's like a cover of a book that you could make. Oh, like the one we're making. So it's got like steampunk stuff that you could do on that one. Um, fish, steampunk fish. So it has, all you have to do is type in how to sculpt out of clay and then get a subject in there. But what I did, instead of making you watch this whole video of me making things, I have this one of like just half of me making something. So I can kind of narrate exactly what's happening and what I'm thinking about as I make something, because sometimes it's hard to just talk about it. It's easier to see it. So I started with just like a head, and I was playing around with a little bit, getting ideas, and I used the knife to cut it open a little bit. This is actually not a pinch pot or anything. There's nothing inside of it. It's just a ball of clay. As long as the clay is about the size of that one, we could fire it and it would survive. But when it starts getting thicker, like here in a minute, the body is going to go onto the head. That body is going to have to be hollowed out later because it's just one big clay. And then I started noticing, well, I need a chin, I need a neck. So I'm adding clay. You can add clay as long as the clay is moist, as long as it's all, I hate that word, sorry. But as long as it's all the same, being able to move it at the same plasticity, usually you can add the clay as long as it's really, really coming right out of the bag and it has a lot of moisture. Sorry, I did it again. And then here I've kind of refined it. It's kind of like you just keep refining it and moving it around. And I never know the answer. I just keep playing with it until I get it the way that I want it. Then here it shows how to put the eyes in. Here's my technique for putting an eye in. So I make eyelids, like smashed pieces of clay. Make the eyelids. And I also make sure I have like a socket to put all this in, scored, kind of a scored area. And again, this clay is really plastic, really, really got a lot of water to it. So it's easy to attach to each other. And then I'm going to open up those eyelids and put just a ball of clay inside there, a little tiny. And the reason I put the ball of clay in later is I like to see the size of the eyelid so I can put the right size of the eye in. And you're going to see, sorry, I don't usually move this fast, but so I put the pupil in and then pack the eyelids on top because eyelids go over top of the eyes. I say that and that sounds weird, but like some people forget to do that. And then just putting an ear on. And here I'm just making out of a ball of clay a body. And this body is like this is going to be a little caricature kind of guy. He's not in proportion or anything. The reason I did that is because I don't want him to break off, like arms to break off. So I'm actually going to connect like arms, little cartoon arms to him. And I'm making like a collar for a shirt here. So smashing clay and then layering stuff on can make it look like different things are attached to the clay. And then don't forget to use those tools to play around with. Here I'm putting a button on, just kind of thinking about details that I could add. The more details you add, and the more you refine those details, kind of like the cover of the book that you guys are going to make, the more you mess around with it, the better it's going to get. So there's an arm on there that I attached, and here's how I attached it. I wanted to make sure that it was on a cushion, and I didn't have a cushion with me, so I piled up plastic bags. I didn't want to smash what I done. So you either want to hold it in your hand, or you want to put it on top of one of the cushions that I sent home with you guys. Or if we're at school again, that would be great. And then you can use a cushion for school. So here I'm just trying to divide out the hand and kind of pinch it so that it'll attach. And I want to make sure all of this gets attached well with my pulling it and connecting it. And just keep messing with it until you get it the way you want.